Welcome to It Happened in Grand Prairie, Texas, as we bring you the history of our city and some of the people that have made history in Grand Prairie, Texas, and some that are even continuing to make history today. We are excited as we celebrate our history tape number 640, which is 640 in the magic year of 2010, and we are real pleased that we can come to you and celebrate Black History Month for the city of Grand Prairie, Texas, and its environs. And we have a very, very dignified and talented and special young lady here with us today. And we bring you Dorothy Sweet Calhoun. Welcome, Dorothy, my dear.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here.
Oh, it's a pleasure for you to be here, and
Thank you.
You just look so beautiful today.
Oh.
And it's an exciting time for me to be able to interview a young lady that is so talented.
Oh, thank you so much. I've worked many years on it, just trying to do the best that I can with what I've got.
Wonderful. Now, let's begin at the very beginning. Please name your parents. Would you do that for us, Dorothy?
My parents were John Jack Sweet and Arlene Toombs Sweet, natives of Zwolle, Louisiana, and that's where I was born and raised.
Born and raised in Louisiana.
Yes.
That is wonderful. And in the beginning, where did you first attend school in Louisiana?
It was the J.S. Clark High School. At that time, it was a combination of elementary and high school together in one building.
One building. How wonderful.
Yes. And so you just moved through the petition from elementary to high school.
Yes.
And it was quite an experience. I did all of my schooling right there.
Well, tell me, in your elementary grades, at the beginning of school, who was your first teacher?
Mrs. Yvonne Sutton Myers.
Did she impress you?
Yes.
Yes. And going up through the elementary grades, was there any other of the grades or the teachers that had an influence on your life that you find remembrances even now? Tell me about it.
My 5th and 6th grade teacher, Mrs. Sally Smith. She is now a resident of Dallas, and we even talked last week.
Yes.
Yeah, she's doing really well, and she even bought one of my books.
Yes.
And also another was Mr. Samuel Cross. He was my principal in high school. We still keep in touch.
Yes.
He just had his 90th birthday, and he's doing really well. And another one was Mrs. Margaret Brooks Ferguson. And she was my English teacher.
Oh, yeah.
And she really inspired me with writing. And I think she was one of the reasons why I just really pursued reading and writing, because that was her thing. I mean, she was really into that, and she pushed that, and I just grabbed hold of it.
And the name of your high school where you
It was
graduated?
J.S. Clark, Joseph Samuel Clark High School.
High school. In your same town where you were born?
Exactly. Zwolle, Louisiana.
And after high school, what happened? Where did you go?
Well, that same teacher, Mrs. Ferguson,
Yes.
inspired me to go to college.
Oh,
I mean,
she
she
did?
really talked to me about it. She said, you have good grades and you've been a great student all the way through, and you just really need to do that. And of course, with the inspiration from my parents and other family members, my sister and I both attended Grambling State University.
Grambling. Oh, wonderful. Very well known.
Right.
Yes. And you graduated from Grambling in?
You want the year?
Yeah,
Oh.
you're proud. You're proud of that year.
1970.
1970. Isn't that wonderful?
And I was offered a position in the art department at Grambling.
At Grambling.
Yes.
Oh, how wonderful.
Yes, I was supposed to be a professor, but I turned that down, and I came to Texas with my husband.
Okay, and now tell me about your husband and his name.
His name is Johnny Calhoun, and he got out of the military in
Yes.
'68 and was offered a position at LTV back then.
Oh, yes.
Yes, and he worked there. So when I finished Grambling, I moved on up
Yes.
to be with him.
To be with him
yes.
into the Grand Prairie area, or
Into
were
the
you
Grand Prairie area, just right here, never anywhere else.
in Grand Prairie,
Wonderful
Texas?
Grand Prairie, yes.
Oh, that is so wonderful. And do you have children?
We have one daughter, Angela Calhoun Mitchell.
And where is Angela?
She lives in Richardson, Texas, with
Yeah.
her family. Her husband, Francois Mitchell, he's from Canada.
Yes.
And we have two granddaughters, Mackenzie and Monique Mitchell. They're first grade and third grade.
How wonderful. Oh, you're getting to supervise some wonderful grandchildren.
I'm telling, they are just super girls.
That's
really.
wonderful. And do they live in this area?
In Richardson.
In Richardson. Oh, that is great. And what brought you to Grand Prairie Schools?
Well, when I moved to Grand Prairie in '70, I put in applications for a position. I went to Dallas and applied, also Grand Prairie and Arlington.
Yes.
And I sought a position, I guess, for a couple of years.
Yes.
And it just didn't happen. It was just really hard to get on. So I decided to go ahead and have the baby. So we did that. And in 1972, I received a call from Grand Prairie as well as Arlington the same day.
How great.
So I had to select between Grand Prairie or Arlington, so I selected Grand Prairie.
And you began your tenure where?
Grand Prairie. I had an interview with Mr. Irwin Witt.
Yes.
Excellent man.
Oh,
he was just a wonderful
lovely
person.
man.
Oh, he was wonderful. So he hired me to work at South Grand Prairie High School.
South Grand Prairie High School, in what department?
Art department.
In the art department. And you began there and...
yes, the school was only 2 years old.
Okay, and then from Grand Prairie, how long did you stay at South?
I stayed at South for 14 years.
14 years.
Mr. Gene Head and Buddy Berry and Bern Alexander.
All of the good ones.
All of the good ones, yes.
That is
wonderful,
so wonderful.
Principals. And B.B. Bingham was the typing teacher right down the hall from my art room.
Yes.
And we were friends, and she was hired as the new principal of the brand new Kennedy Middle School that was being built.
Yes.
So I approached her and told her that I just needed, to do something different. I wanted to change. I still wanted art, but I just, I said, can I go with you to Kennedy? She said, you may. I need an art teacher.
How wonderful.
And so I transferred with BB to Kennedy.
Yes. And stayed there until?
86 to 94.
To 94.
I was at Kennedy for 8 years. And then I was inspired by Miss Bingham to go into administration. So I was an assistant principal for 3 years.
How great. And put your art on hold, just sort of. Yes.
Yeah. Thought I wanted to, sometimes you just get to a place where you want to
a taste of something
different,
yes,
but still in education, So I did that for 3 years and found out that it was not what I needed to do. I missed the children.
Art was happiness. Art was happiness.
I really missed the children. So I went back to the classroom, and we had a wonderful personnel director back in '97. It was Mildred Davis. You might remember Mildred. She told me that they were going to start up the elementary art program.
Yes.
And she said, would you like to do that? So I started that. I took that position at Zavala.
Yes.
So I started the art program at Zavala, brand new, because we'd
brand new school.
Yes, had written curriculum over the years for elementary, but we never had the elementary art. We only had the high school and the junior high. So I was just really pleased to start the elementary art program.
And all of the time you were teaching this art, was it anywhere in the background of your mind that you may want to not only do art but do writing, since you're so into English, reading, writing, and all of the good things?
Well, I think so. I was always writing something, even from college.
Yeah.
I always wrote poems, short stories, letters, that kind of thing, and just really didn't know about publishing anything, but just always interested in words and putting things together, organizing. And I wrote curriculum for the church, wrote church handbooks, just all kinds of things.
And when did you retire from the Grand Prairie ISD?
I officially retired in 2004.
And then you were at loose ends.
But I officially retired in 2004, but I did the Social Security offset thing where you go work in a district for a day and you can. So I was hired, I was a rehire in '04, and I worked for 3 more years. And then I finally retired in '07.
In '07. And then the magic came to you.
Yes, I was retired, and I thought, okay, this is it. I'm retired. I'm just going to sit on my laurels and rest. And
play.
And play and do some things. And so it was revealed to me that you cannot do that. you have to keep going.
Yes, you do.
So I went through my files and I pulled out the manuscript that I had written for the little short story of the dinosaur book, and just started working on it, and just had a revelation that that was what I needed to do.
You had
So,
already written.
I'd already
script.
written it
Yes.
previously, I guess 6 or 7 years ago, and
let it stay as a manuscript until you had a
Yes.
magic happening.
yes, had that magic happening, pulled it out, expanded on it,
Yes.
and moved forward from there.
All right, let's see the cover of your dinosaur book.
It's Why Dinosaurs Are Extinct,
Uh-huh.
and it's based on Noah's Ark with all of the animals.
Yes.
And it has a Bible base,
Uh-huh.
you know, but it has a great twist to it, because the message that I put into this book for children is that they really need to work on building good character, having good character all the
Yes.
time, being obedient to parents and
Yeah,
other
oh,
adults
yes.
in charge,
Yes.
and making good choices.
Yes.
So that is the essence of the book.
Tell me about David Miles, who illustrated your book.
David Miles he's my professional illustrator.
Isn't that good?
As an art teacher, I drew all of my pictures, submitted my pictures to the publishing company, and they said, your pictures are wonderful, but that special printer quality
Yes,
was not there. So out of 4 professional illustrators that were presented to me, I had to select one. So David Miles was the one that fit me like a glove as
Yeah.
far as what I wanted in my artwork. So after selecting him, he proceeded to redo my pictures and get them printer ready.
Yes.
He did an excellent job.
When did this first come off the press?
The end of August, 2009.
Oh, no.
And it took a year and 7 months to to publish this little book.
A year?
It took a year because of all of the illustrations. Yeah, and we
Yes.
were back and forth with the illustrations. It's like, okay, we're submitting you this one. Do you see anything that you want changed? I would change a color, or I would change move an animal to the other side of the page, or
Yeah.
something, to get it just
Yeah.
exactly as I wanted it.
Yes. And after it was finished and it went on the market, and where did you make your first presentation of this book?
I made my first presentation at Barnes & Noble.
Barnes & Noble.
I've
How
had 3
wonderful.
book signings at Barnes & Noble at the Parks Mall.
Oh, good.
And I guess 3 or 4 at my church. My church is St. John Baptist Church
Oh, yes,
with Dr.
St. John.
Denny Davis.
Oh, isn't he wonderful?
Yes.
God bless Denny
Yes.
Davis and all of his followers.
Right. He's
Because they
wonderful.
all follow the good Lord, don't
That's
they?
right, exactly.
Yes, they do.
And we all try to do that.
Yes.
But I've just kind of bounced around different places
Yes.
so far with it, and private Christian schools, and some of the schools in Grand Prairie have asked me to come and speak.
Oh, where are you speaking now?
I'll be speaking tomorrow at Bonham Elementary to 3rd, 4th, and 5th grade about becoming an author.
Oh, yes. So you're going to really charge them with the Light Brigade, aren't you? Yes.
Oh, yes.
Yes. And they can see what you've done, and they say, if it can happen to a beautiful young lady like that, maybe I can follow.
Well, we want them to be as successful as we can have them be. And, I just think the most important thing for the children in elementary grades, for any grade, is that you must read. You must write.
Well, I
all the
noted
time.
in your notes that Sally Moore gave you a lot of encouragement. Now, Sally Moore is one of my very best friends, and I know she's yours because she goes to St. John's also.
Yes.
So tell me about Sally, how she helped you.
She is just pure gold.
Yes, she is.
Sally, when I approached her, told her about my book, I told her that because she's my good friend, we've been friends for so many years, and
Yeah.
she's the person who asked me to write curriculum for Grand Prairie ISD many years ago. I asked her if she would be the person to write my About the Author page. So in my book, Sally has written about the
wonderful.
author, and she has told the whole story about me in my book. It's kind
Isn't
of like a
that good?
biography. Yes.
Isn't that good?
And she's just a wonderful lady.
Oh, and she has a very important sister in Washington, D.C., too.
Yes, she does.
Yes, she
and
does.
I did get an endorsement from her recently.
Oh, you did?
Beautiful letter from Congresswoman Eddie Bernice Johnson.
Yes, her honor. Yes.
Great honor.
Yes, yes, that is wonderful.
Yes.
What's next?
Well, I have 4 more books. I have
4.
2 more books to come behind this dinosaur book, and it's like a little sequel to this one.
All right.
And it's got, the next one should be after the flood,
Uh-huh.
and it's the adventures of Jimpy and Jane, who are my characters in the book.
Yes.
And then after that, we'll go into some more dinosaur personalities, hopefully, in the
Yeah.
third one.
Uh-huh.
But I have another one that's really special. It's my 4th one, and I'm working on that one right now. It's almost finished. It's a little series of books, and they're called my B books. Be smart, be honest,
Be happy.
be successful, all of those. It's
The
6
good
of
Bs.
those. Yes, the Bs. And I'm working on those, and they're just really great tips for children to help them be all that they can be, to be the best that they can be. And I'm just really excited about that.
And at what level are you presenting this?
This one will be pre-K, probably through 5th.
Uh-huh.
It just kind of encompasses all of elementary.
All right. And is this bringing excitement to your life?
Oh, I'll tell you. Like I said, I thought I was finished, but once
You're just
I started,
beginning.
I am just beginning. This is so exciting to be working with books, and I have met so many wonderful people. I was at a meeting 3 weeks ago with the Dallas and Fort Worth Black professionals.
Yes.
At a meeting in Dallas, I was invited by another author friend.
Uh-huh.
And I met wonderful people. Ramona Logan.
Oh, yes.
She was a newscaster for Channel 5.
Yes.
We talked extensively. There were just several people from the Dallas Morning News, just a lot of professional people that I met, and it was just so exciting.
Making
to
some
meet them.
wonderful contacts, aren't you?
Yes, very much so.
What do your children think about this?
My granddaughters are ecstatic about the book. They really love it. And the 3rd grader took it to school, and her principal read it to her class.
How wonderful.
They were excited.
That's right.
And she said, Mimi, I just wish you would come to my school and read the book. I said, well, maybe
They'll
that
invite
might
me
happen.
someday. Yes. Let's work on that invitation.
Yes.
Okay. I'd like for you to look out into the guest camera that you have here. And I'd like for you to encourage everyone not only to follow the lead, but to do as you have done in your after career. There are other wonderful things that can happen to you, and encourage some of our retirees that might have an opportunity to do something like this. If it's not in the being an author of books, and not just one book of dinosaurs, but of the many other things that they can do to help boys and girls and encourage them. Would you do a little speech for us right now? Okay.
Well, I feel like I'm so blessed to be able to have a second career. For 35 years, I was in education and loved it. I just don't have a moment that I regret it. But being an author it's very exciting. It's a whole new adventure, getting to meet different people, going different places, exposing different people to the book. But one of the important things about living our lives is that we want to maximize every possible moment. There are many of you who have talent and skill and abilities, not only in writing, but there are other areas. You might do a craft, or you might do other fun kind of hobby things. Push it as far as you can. Go as far with it as you can. I say we never get too old to reach for our dreams and to pursue our desires. So just do all that you can do to be the best that you can do. I live each day. Every morning that I get up, I'm so grateful that I've got another chance to do something a little differently. And maybe something that I didn't do quite right yesterday, today I might can get it right. So just keep trying to move out there and do the best that you can with what you've got. And I would encourage all of the kids to work as hard as you can in school. Listen to your teachers whenever they give you that reading assignment or that writing assignment. Go beyond that. That's what I used to do in school. I used to do more than what was expected of me to do. And I just always loved reading and writing. And make sure that you do something each day. Read each day, write each day. Keep a journal. That is a very important thing to do. So just push yourself and do what you love. That is just one of the greatest things that you can do. Do what you love. If you do what you love, you will be successful with it, and you will be happy with it. And then if you love it so, you will be able to service others with it as well.
That's wonderful. What a lovely exhortation.
Thank you.
Now, I'd like to know this. What is next in your life after you have gotten the book of the month, after you've have written a book of the month, and all of these other things? Are you just going to retire gracefully, or are you going to write until the last moment?
I think I will write until the last moment.
Yes.
But I think one of the things that I really want to do is that I have not had the opportunity to do extensively is do some traveling. I would just love to, travel abroad. And one of the things that I've always wanted to do is visit the Louvre.
Yes.
Art Museum.
Yes.
I know I have many friends that have done that, but I have not had the opportunity to do so. So that is one of the big things that I would like to do, just go different places and see different things.
Have you thought of expanding your career in not only writing, but helping to illustrate books, of having a small school to teach people how to do what you've had to do one step at a time? And had ever thought of doing something like that in a
Right. I have thought of that. I thought once upon a time that when I retired, I would maybe have a private art school to teach art lessons and that kind of thing. But I sat down and talked with my husband about that, and we even looked at some schedules and all. He said, well, either way you look at it, your hands are going to be tied. You're just going to kind of be tied up.
Yes.
And we won't get to go when I want to go. So we love to travel a little bit.
Yes.
Like this past summer, we did Washington, D.C. We went to Savannah, Georgia. Just had a wonderful time. We did
And the
Baltimore,
family went
Maryland.
with you?
No, they did not.
They did not. Now
But this was just my husband and myself.
You're going to get to take your grandchildren on a trip one of these days.
We're thinking about Disney for Christmas.
Oh, you are?
Yes, we've been talking about a family outing there.
Uh-huh.
But when we want to go places for a week or two, we just want to be able to take up and go without having schedules.
Yes.
And things to hold us. So that's why I never did the private art school or the mentoring program for the district. I think the teachers have to put in 20 hours a week or something. I just don't want to be tied down to hours in a schedule. I'm retired.
You're
I want to have fun. I want to do books.
All right. Have you thought of other books that you have somewhere in the back of your mind that before I give up being an author, my absolute supreme book will be thus and so and thus and so? Have you given that any thought?
I have a novel.
Okay.
And the manuscript is already ready. I wrote this thing about 15, almost 20 years ago.
Yes.
It's called Mazawali, the name of my
Hometown.
And it's kind of a biography type book. And it's a mystery.
Yes.
And right now it has 18 chapters. And I think it's right at the end of being finished. So I think I need to just finish up the last few chapters of it. I would love to get that novel published.
Yes.
And I think it's really good.
Yes.
It's really good.
Well, I'm certainly glad that I delved into that part of your future, and that sounds real exciting.
Thank you.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, is there anyone that you would like to thank for helping you along the way? Did you have grandparents, parents, some teachers that really inspired you to be successful, and thank them for what you are today? Special people that were your mentors.
Well, I think Sally Moore is top on my list.
Yes.
And I just loved Gene Head.
Wasn't he precious?
He was just an awesome
we lost him this last year.
Yes. There were some other people that were just really wonderful in my life. I would say Wanda Bolton Davis.
Yes.
She is my pastor's wife.
Yes.
She's Reverend Wanda Bolton Davis.
Is.
I received a lot of inspiration from her when I told her that I was, going to write this book. She's just so wonderful and so encouraging. So I received a lot of encouragement from her, as well as my pastor,
Yes.
Dr. Denny Dwight Davis, and many of the members at St. John, my church. Also my sister, Mary Bush.
Yes.
Mary was a teacher in Grand Prairie.
Yes.
Ruby Jefferson. She's my Sunday school teacher. and she-
Magnificent lady from
Yes.
Eisenhower
Yes.
Elementary. Taught many of my grandchildren. Oh, that
I've
is
been
so
trying to
great.
get her to go back and sub.
Oh, yes.
They would love for her to come and
Yes,
sub.
they would.
Yes. But she's just phenomenal.
Yes.
And we're good friends. We talk every week, just about. My husband, who is just one of the most amazing
An
men.
understanding young man.
Yes.
Yes.
And we've been married 42 years.
Wonderful.
And he has been supportive all the way,
42
and just
years.
been right there.
Yes.
Just very encouraging. And my family, my daughter is super. She's the only one we've had, but I always tell everybody she's the best.
Yes.
Yes, and her husband, they're just wonderful,
Great.
wonderful. And I just want to thank you.
Well, you're welcome.
I've known you for many years,
Yes.
and you're just a beautiful lady. And I enjoyed seeing you at Godspell. That was a wonderful program.
Wasn't that a great
Yes.
program?
And we had a great time at the Grand Prairie Healthcare Center with
Yes.
the senior citizens.
that's fun.
And my little lady was a crown queen.
Yes. Yes.
Miss Cooper.
That's wonderful.
Yes, so it's just thank you for all you do.
Well,
You
I
do a
appreciate
great job, and just continue.
I appreciate everything that you're bringing glory to Grand Prairie, Texas, as well as to your church,
Thank you.
to the schools, and for everything. We just tag on to you because you're a wonderful presence in the city of Grand Prairie, Texas. And I salute you and
Thank
all of the
you.
things that you've done, and all of the boys and girls that have passed through your classes. If we could name them individually or even
Oh,
collectively,
my.
wouldn't it be wonderful?
Oh, I'll tell you, many, many, many.
Well, God bless you.
Thank
for
you so much.
all of the things that you're
Thank
bringing
you.
to Grand Prairie, Texas.
Yes, ma'am.
And thank you for helping our history be just exciting for the February for Black History Month.
Thank
It's
you
a
for
salute.
inviting me. I've
Yes.
enjoyed being here with you.
And this is Ruthie Jackson reminding you that history is as we live and do, and that we document it as accurately as is possible, and that we bring you the most majestic people that we can find in our city that have contributed to the history of our wonderful city that is celebrating our 100th birthday as a corporate city through March the 20th of this coming year, because 1909 was when we had the magic vote that made us a happy birthday to Grand Prairie. Thank you for watching our show.